Okay, it looks like we are back for the unexpected fourth session of episode 5 of Star Trek Next Frontier. Uh, there but for the grace of God. This will be, I swear on all that is holy, this will be the final session for this episode. No matter how long it takes, provided it doesn't take longer than the amount of time I'm willing to spend here. So we are going to wrap it up. But as always, quick recap for anyone just starting this video now. How did we get to this point and where are we right now? Mr. Drake, Lieutenant Frank Drake, who's been having a extraordinarily rough time of it during this episode, has volunteered yet again to give us the recap. So, Mr. Drake, take it away.
Yeah, so in the last episode on the DeGrasse Tyson, the crew started off, under attack from two of the Xylxyk rebels. And in a very strange turn of events, after having their weapons knocked out, our Klingon commander decided that having a nice conversation with the enemy was the way to go, which, funnily enough, worked for once. So they talked themselves out of what would have been a very cool space battle, which Drake is happy for because he didn't want to miss it, and have a discussion with the secularist leader, Mir, who tells them of the situation on Xylxyk, as well as why he and his crew were on the planet during the whole incident that got Drake arrested. So they were on there, what was it? I had notes. They were on there trying to get people off the homeworld. They had been contacted by one of the contacts who said that someone wanted to be taken off planet, but instead they got ambushed instead and then ran away. After quite a long discussion with them and a lot of religion insulting, they decided to go back to the planet to confront the first scholar, Annie, with the evidence that they had regarding the slavery and all the, underhand play that the government has been doing under the first scholar, Annie, in the hopes that this would be enough to convince him to give Drake back. It ended for the DeGrasse Tyson crew not too well, with first scholar Annie basically going, what are you going to do about it? So we were left in discussion about how to get me back. In my little playthrough of Frank Drake clone number 3, I'm going to say, maybe, the third iteration of Drake that I'm aware of, managed to break into, I managed to fill my quota, came up with the idea of jumping to guards, which me and my little Romulan friend did, managed to break into the High Warden's office, broke into his computers and found out that the Romulan had been there for about 50 years, which didn't make much sense, until the High Scholar and 2 of his guards come into the room, make some weird little creepy gestures and comments, and informs me that, shows me that I am a clone by lifting off a bedsheet to show my already dead body. To which Drake doesn't take too well, ends up attacking the guard, takes the gun, shoots them both, almost killing the High Warden, but at the last minute manages to save him. And we ended it there with me potentially, trapped in a mine as a clone.
There you go.
I think that was everything.
That sounds like all the big points. Is there anything anyone else has heard that you think was left out or you want to change? Or anything else you want to mention from your point of view, just in case?
Just too good.
You're just too darn good. All right. So, I think what we should do then, in the meantime, since the last session and the start of this session, there's been a little discussion. On our group Discord about what to do for this negotiation, where to go next, because Yeah, very, very much like what Drake has just said. Um, they brought up a lot of the accusations, but again, for Scholar Ani, he's not really that perturbed by it due to his um, position. And Mir also mentioned at the end of the last session as well that pretty much without having the Prime Scholar there, Ani is still the de facto leader, so there's not really anyone over him. That's not to say the problems can't occur, but he's in enough of a cushy position that he doesn't seem too concerned about it in the bigger scheme of things. So
Problems like murder.
this depends how this all goes, right? But since we've taken time to do an extended talk, I figured the negotiations have gone into a recess where all of you inside the meeting, the three people on the planet, which was the Shran, Thadagia, and the captain, they went outside to have a private talk where you are still in communication with the ship, including Commander Locke, Lieutenant Weber, and Lieutenant Alder, as well as getting to discuss things over with Mir if need be. So there was a little bit of chat on the Discord here. So just to bring everyone into it who wasn't talking, we could use this time now to basically maybe finalize the decisions that you are going to bring up or mention once you go back into the meeting room, and maybe hear from anyone that has yet to share their thoughts on what to do. So again, all of you are in communication with each other, even though three are on the planet and three are on the ship. So go ahead, take it away. Anyone who would like to bring up your side of the story.
What is our guest's name again? I seem to have not written it down.
Mir, the leader
is
of the secularists, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So at this point, we have Mir in the room with us to help discuss with him. We don't need, since we're in recess, I guess we don't need to hide him.
Yeah, it's all audio right now anyhow, so it's all coming in through the badges down below.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like to ask Mia and the first representative if they can see, or if there's any kind of let's say checks and balances towards the first scholar's position, if there's any regulating body that can challenge his position and remove him legally.
I will just interject one thing. I forgot to say, if you can see on the picture there, I didn't put it in, but I forgot to mention it. The representative did not join you. She was called away with Ani, as she is part of their government. So she was brought with him. So she's not there currently, but of course Mir is with you on there, so you could direct your question to him, correct?
All right, then I will ask him.
Okay, Mir just takes in a deep breath. Thinks. He said, "We don't have any regulatory body like that on the Holy Seat. The regulation is supposed to go through the clergy themselves, with, of course, the Prime Scholar being the one who has the oversight over everyone during their time as the leader, with the First Honored Scholar serving as a balance or a counter to the policies of the Prime Scholar. So with, again, as you well know, with the Prime Scholar missing, it looks as if Ani is fulfilling both of these roles. And again, with his position as the highest ranking member of the clergy, which is the party that is in command of our society, and the fact that our society is historically a conservative and theocratic society, it's going to be extraordinarily hard to convince any of his allies.
Mm.
If we have someone on the inside to perhaps work with us, it might be helpful, but I wouldn't expect this to be resolved in any short amount of time.
Well, the first scholar at this point has offered to give us back Lieutenant Drake if we leave him to his threatened seat of power. So on one hand, that is a clean resolution. I'm afraid that would not help your cause, Mira, but we would not have to hand you over. On the other hand, that shows, by taking that stance, that shows that the first scholar feels threatened enough by us that he simply wants us to leave. That might be an indication that there is a path we could take in removing him from power.
Mir nods in agreement, listening to what you're saying. Anyone else wish to chime in with what you would like the negotiations to handle? Would anyone else like to chime in to say they don't wish to speak? I'm not exactly sure if anyone's actually listening right now.
Well, from my point of view, Captain and Commander, I would like to say it's possible that this is not going to go in the way that we would like it to. So we would have to seriously consider alternative methods to perhaps solve our problem. Or at least consider developing some alternative ideas.
Captain Savik will look to you and ask, alternatives such as what, Lieutenant?
We could always perhaps suggest to them that the way in which they acquired power, in which they're sitting in power, is perhaps unethical, perhaps immoral, and may give grounds to a possible succession by someone else who is able to take this place. Now, if we suggest this, they also have our crewmen in prison. As I stated before, they wouldn't like the idea of having to possibly fight two conflicts on two different fronts. I would just like to suggest this as a possibility to bring before them.
So try to bring the ethics of what's happening here into play when it comes to their rules of succession for the next prime scholar. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
And I believe that your additional comment that Drake is still in the mix, so bringing something up that may offend the first honored scholar might also put Drake in a greater risk. According to Mir and the representative, Drake's normal punishment for a infraction of this sort would have been immediate execution. I think that it is clear from the evidence that the crew has found when they've encountered Mir, the fact that they have put Drake into solitary confinement and using him as a incentive for us to do their job for them shows that they don't want to start any sort of conflict with Starfleet, or they would have just killed him outright. They probably want us to do their dirty work, and then they would give us back Drake. However, if we are not ready to fulfill their end of the bargain, and we don't get Drake returned to us by another means, it might not be wise to provoke them any further.
Perhaps you are correct.
Commander, what do you say?
We could take the strongman position and threaten them with an ill-favorable friendship or a relationship with the Federation by saying that if we do not receive the two things we are most in need of, or the two things we require of them, that being the return of Lieutenant Drake and any information they have on the Darwin, that there any future or any chances at their current governments having any kind of positive relationship with the Federation would be gone. And given that we will return with information to the Federation about this area of the Shackleton Expanse, that the chances of them encountering more people from the Federation will increase. So it's up to them whether they encounter more science ships and trade vessels or warships.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Commander.
Interesting approach, Commander. However, they have held back the Klingons for centuries. I don't know if they would be intimidated by Federation warships.
Have they held back the Klingons, or have the Klingons been holding back for centuries?
Perhaps you could inquire that yourself the next time you visit Kronos.
From the conversation I've had with my mother, it seems that the Klingons had little interest in this area of space, and the few ships that wandered in were turned away.
Interesting. Any other advice, any other input from our other officers before we head back in?
No objections here.
No objections. Okay. Anything from Mr. Alder and Mr. Weber?
Nothing, Captain. I agree with your course of action.
I think we could weave together multiple strategies into one. If we take the strong arm approach, we could also we could bluff, as you humans call it, about our ability to remove the First Scholar from power from within their own government by threatening the evidence we have for his involvement in the false flag operation. With the combination of saying that we will remove, if he meets our two main demands, we will remove ourselves from the entire situation and no longer pursue and not release the evidence we have of his involvement. And that we would be leaving with a positive relationship for Starfleet.
Then if that is the approach that we are going to attempt, I suggest we prepare the proper way of expressing it that doesn't bring their own warships out to greet us before we can leave orbit.
Well, before we can get you off the planet, Captain.
Get all of us off the planet, Commander.
Yeah.
Very well, let us head back in and see what we are going to discover. Okay, and the three of them start heading in, but Thedazia, you start getting a little chime on your tricorder at the same time as you're just about to go in. Checking it, you see the background scan that you have set has been going on constantly the whole time there that you programmed at the end of the last session. So just for a little chance for gaining momentum as it is, can you give me a tricorder roll with a control and science?
Yes.
This is going to be difficulty 0. Oh yeah, just a heads up, if nobody checked, the starting threat for when we pick up the session is 6, and there is 0 momentum currently.
Control science and what task roll is?
It should be task roll 2, complication range 1. Okay, let's see here. You rolled challenge dice, not the task roll. I think you hit the wrong delta on there. There you go. All right, you got 2, so that is 2 extra points of momentum collected there. Your tricorder scan, you had it set to monitor for human life signs, and it's been doing a passive scan the whole time you've been down on the planet. So now it's reached a location where you detect there is a human life sign coming about 1 kilometer away from where you are at for the meeting. Roughly 1 kilometer.
Oh my God, sorry. I just dozed off for a minute. I hope you didn't try to ask me anything or something. I'm so sorry.
Oh, the captain was wondering why you were so stoic, but aside from that, I think everyone else came up with a course of action. Okay.
Let's blame it on the slave issue.
Yeah, it was really bugging you about the potential slavery here, so you were fuming. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, what was that, Thedazia?
Is the communication line still open?
Communication with the ship, we could say that the beep came before it was cut off, or either way it would be easy to just chime back in, yeah.
All right. I'm going to relay this information. Captain, before the meeting, I decided to run a background scan to pick up on the location of Lieutenant Drake's whereabouts. And I am picking up a signal about 1 kilometer away from here.
Oh, very good, Lieutenant. We may need that information if things go a little worse for us in this negotiation. can you transmit that up to the DeGrasse Tyson and have them get a lock on exactly where in the city he is being held?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Transmitting those coordinates right now.
Do we have a transporter ability right now?
You've always had the ability. It's just probably going to kill whoever you use it on.
Ah, right.
Yeah. It's just the Federation transporter technology is just not adapted for the kind of interference that's coming out of the sphere of Xylxyk.
Right. I just checking to make sure
Yeah.
we weren't able to fix that.
Yeah, that's not going to be something that can be fixed easily. Again, it's possible that you could get very lucky and whoever you're teleporting does not get turned into scrambled eggs on the way up. But it's an entire technology issue that would require a lot of refitting and revamping the system from the ground up to do it consistently, safely.
I mean, it could be a good way to get rid of all the copies if we need to later.
Basically, it's like, yeah, we'll just, like, don't worry, Drake, we'll just transport them all back down to the surface. And you just catch these muffled screams of horror just before they dissipate, right? Okay. So, yeah. What's that?
Do we know ourselves of Lieutenant Drake's situation as far as his being implicated or
what you know about him is that he appears to be sitting in a solitary confinement room just trying to pass the time with exercises and just waiting from meal to meal and doing nothing else. That's the only information that you've determined or the captain has seen. Thishron has also seen it when he was down on the planet in the video thing, so that's the only thing you know. You have not yet learned of anything about Drake being on an asteroid mine somewhere.
Okay.
Okay. So, speaking of which, let's go to an asteroid mine somewhere and see what is going on with Lieutenant Drake before everyone gets him killed. So, where is this the place we want to be? Checking the map here. Okay, now let's see. I could take that thing.
I mean, it sounds like if we give him much more time, he's going to be running a mine pretty soon.
That's the plan.
Let's see. I can.
And Drake, such the entrepreneur.
They're making money. Why can't I?
Oh, that's not the thing. Hang on. Let me get old Drakey back in here. Good old Drakey. That's what we call him. Let's see. Go to this window. All right. So Drake, as you're well aware, you're in a mine. And furthermore, you're in a very dangerous place, aren't you? So let me change the screen to you. Is it morgue? That's the room where you are. All right, so you've knocked out the one guard that was there, and you've stabilized. You stabilized the High Warden so that he's not dying right now. I took your fancy mask off just so we know it's you. Okay.
Thank you.
So you stabilize the High Warden so he won't die from his injuries, but he is, of course, injured from the shot to the back on his way out. You are right now still alone. You're just moments after you got him stabilized. You're alone in the morgue, surrounded by various dead bodies, including one very familiar dead body.
So first thing I want to do is disarm both of the guard and the High Warden, and then tie them up using some of the many covers covering the dead bodies around me.
Okay. That's good. Again, you got the weapon off the guard already. The High Warden had a pistol inside his robes.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that,
Okay.
put that on my side just in case, and then, yeah, tie them up and try to drag their bodies into the High Warden's office.
Okay. That wouldn't take too long, so we could say that you managed to do that. Don't even need to roll for that there. Okay. So tied up, put in the office. Okay.
And then...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so after getting them into the office, I'm going to start rooting around his computer to see if I can find out if the elevator actually works, because he did mention me climbing the elevator in a previous experience, or was going to make me do it. So I want to confirm that the elevator actually works or not, or if there's a different way out that they've hidden from us.
Okay, the computers are still locked out from when he cornered you.
Can I see any way, like a face scan or fingerprint or eye scan, retinal?
Yeah, you know what? Why don't we do that? You could roll for it, or you could spend 2 momentum to find a thing like that. So either way, it's going to be like creating a trait for this thing. So either way, it's similar to advantage.
Let's try. Do you know what? I do want to get out of here, so I'm gonna steal the momentum they generated. I'll try and generate more later, but yeah, I'll take that.
That's kind of you. Okay. All right. Yeah, you go search it through his office, and because it is his personal research office there, you discover a way for him to, of course, gain access to it with his own biometrics. So there is we'll say a hand scanner. How about that?
Okay, well, I won't go creepy and cut his hand off. I'll just drag him over and place his hand on there before tying him up again.
You cut his hand off, and then you use his other hand to unlock it.
Yeah,
don't use the severed
I'm
one.
duplicate. Why not?
Okay, so yeah, you drag him over, and you are able to unlock the system.
Yeah. So first thing I want to do is to confirm the way out of here.
Okay. So that's going to be a pretty easy one. So we'll say just going through, digging into the computers is not going to be extremely hard, especially now that it's opened with his access. Just going to take a little bit of time as you do it. So as you're working on the computer, I'm on the wrong thing. I need to. You hear the doors open at the end of the morgue, and in comes the previously escorted out ally of yours, your Romulan compatriot. Oh.
Okay.
He's looking. He comes in alone without the guards.
Yeah, a little suspicious. I'm aiming my gun at him and saying, "How did you get back here?"
He still looks really shaken, and he looks up at you. Say, "I can't do it anymore. I have to get out."
Can't do what? Were you in on all of this?
I thought I was.
And you seriously want out?
I seriously want out.
Then take this, and I take the pistol off of my waist and say, "Go watch the door. I'm seeing if I can..." Actually, do you know the way out?
I thought it was through the lift. That's the only way in that I know of. That's one of the areas that he looks over at your corpse on the table. Well, you listened to me last time, and you see where it got you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that so much this time. Here, take this and go watch stay in here and watch the door in from the other room. Make sure no one comes in while I find a way out.
He takes the gun and he looks at it for a long while and just nods his head and turns and walks the other way.
Okay. I'll watch him as he goes for a moment before heading back to the computer. To try and find the way out.
Yeah, he heads out. Okay, you go back to the computer and you're looking and you're seeing that the elevator system, it does reach up to the surface of the mine. On the surface, though, the area it leads up to is just pretty much a loading area where they bring in the supplies, they bring in whatever. It's not connected to the rest of the surface structures. You have to take a separate vehicle away from it. You're seeing the information you're seeing there suggests that you're not on the planet. You are on an asteroid somewhere in the system.
Okay. The vehicle I need to take, is that a ship or is that, I don't know, an old style Mustang?
It's a Pontiac Firebird. I don't know where they got it from, but it's just parked right there. No, it would be any kind of a shuttling vessel, any kind of small shuttle, it seems, because there's an airlock.
Okay. Is there just one shuttle out there, or is there a couple?
Because this is just a staging area, there's just the one. It's not like a area where they store their vehicles.
Am I able to find that on the computers? If there's anywhere else we could, in the near vicinity that we could fly to and find more vehicles?
Yeah, there would be, you get a kind of a basic layout of the other structures on the asteroid, including a command center, storage, processing for the ore, loading docks for all of that. So there are multiple outbuildings.
Okay. So with that information, I'm going to go over to our Romulan friend again, and ask him, what is the situation with the rest of the prisoners here? Are they all just part of the play, or are they actual prisoners?
Oh, you're going back to the Romulan?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so he's in the next room, right? So you're leaving the office and going there. Okay.
For now.
Okay. So as you're on your way to the next room, the transport chamber, I'm going to spend 2 of these lovely thread that I've been holding on to. And as you're getting there, you hear the sound of that disruptor firing repeatedly, going off. There is something happening in the next room.
Damn, there goes my little plan. I'm going to run over and find out what the situation is.
Okay, the doors swing open. You're inside the transport chamber, as you can see, and you find your Romulan friend standing there. On the floor, on the opposite side, closer to where the door to where the mine is, you see the unconscious body of the guard that presumably was the one who took him out of the room earlier. But your friend is standing in front of the transport pod, firing into it and blowing it to hell.
Just to confirm, is the transport pod the thing that also duplicates people?
It would appear to be, as you've only remember you were being transported from the Holy Seat and you materialize inside that pod with no other memory. Logic would dictate that, that's where you are reformed.
Okay. Outside of the game, did you use that threat just so I couldn't clone myself a few more times?
No, well, you gave him the gun, and his whole thing, well, you see what his thing is right now. So you've actually provided it for him, so I decided to make use of it. So thank you for that.
Okay. Well, there goes plan A through Z.
Well, I'm slightly disappointed myself because I had some really good ideas for what you could do with that machine too. But, you gave him the gun.
You didn't have to use the threat, but anyway.
Didn't have to, but that's what he was going to endeavor to do. Is he doesn't want to be cloned again, as you can tell.
I don't mind. Okay, well, that's that one out. Go with plan R. So I try and stop the crazy bastard because he's going to bring the guards in. So, whoa, stop. You're gonna get us killed.
He looks at you and just starts laughing. You see like a small tear rolling down his cheek. Like, wouldn't that be better than what has become of us?
Do you breathe? Do you think?
I thought I did. But if you're telling me that I've been here, how long? 50? 50, did you say?
Yeah, 50.
And I thought it was only 2 years stationed here under the orders of my government. But no, it's because I'm half Vulcan. They never respected me, and they tricked me. They put me here to repeat this cycle of hell again and again. And that explains so much. That's why I've never been able to do things on my own. Because the more... He points over his shoulder. You've seen them. You've seen them working in there. Haven't you?
Is he pointing at the mine, by the way?
He's pointing at the mine.
You mean the mining or the cloning?
You see what becomes of us after you're doubled so many times?
You're referring to the giant Xylxyk.
I don't have the ability to work the computers anymore. I just get this brain lock because a pattern isn't meant to be made many times over. A pattern can only be done once safely. Any further repeat just degrades whatever comes out. And that's why my mind is going. I don't have that knowledge anymore.
But you still have your free will and you're still breathing, aren't you?
Breathing for what? What am I going to do? Go back to the government that just left me here to die as a cruel joke?
Well, I mean, you're half Vulcan, you say, and they're part of the Federation, so why not join us?
Federation? I don't care about your Federation. I'm not leaving here, and I shouldn't leave here for what I've done to you as well as many others.
Well, this version of you is a prisoner. And as far as I'm aware, I'm fine. So how about instead of crying about it, you redeem yourself? Sitting here blowing shit up and dying, what does that achieve? Nothing. It's the coward's way out. And I didn't think Romulans nor Vulcans were cowards.
I'm not sure if I even know where Romulan is anymore.
I mean, I do, so stick with me and let's get out of here.
He doesn't look like he buys it completely, but he's definitely listening to you. We're not going to make it.
Who says?
Every time I sent you up the lift, they brought you back down. And then I got to introduce myself to you all over again. I don't know any way out of here.
Does the elevator work?
That's how they come in.
Who brings me back down normally?
One of the guards.
From where are they sat?
Wherever they killed you. I'd never been up there.
So you're saying there's people up there?
That's where they all come from. I don't know what's up there, but that's where they come from.
From what I could see on the computers, this is a supply depot, which means there's probably not going to be a lot of people. And if we go up there in some nice, pretty guard suits, are they going to open fire?
Perhaps not.
But we can. And there is a whole bunch of prisoners out there, including 2 very muscular but very annoying Nausicans, who may or may not want to be here as well. That's 4.
That's also true.
There's an old movie that I've back on Earth regarding prisoners escaping through a prison riot. I think we can probably organize one of those ourselves, no?
What do you have in mind?
Well, first of all, you're going to need to swap out of those clothes into a guard's costume. And the first thing we're going to do is secure the elevator. Admittedly, I was looking at the now destroyed cloning machine, going to make a few more of myself so that I have some more troops at my use. But, well, that's gone. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to secure the elevator and we're going to start a prison riot.
Well, either way, I'll get my wish of being done with this place forever.
Exactly. It's better to be getting done with this place and going off somewhere else than getting done with this place and going in one of those furnaces. Now, go change. I'll watch the door because you made a bit of a kerfuffle and they might be on the way.
Okay. And...
Oh, before you go, do you know if they've got a security camera system? CCTV? I don't know what they call it in Star Trek, actually.
I don't believe so.
Oh, that goes one idea. But yeah, go change. Let's get this done.
He will do just that. All right, so start thinking of your prison break, and we'll go back to...
Stupid Romulan.
Stupid Romulan. Okay, going back to the negotiations. Going back into the room. Is this the right room? It looks like the right room. Hang on a second. Let me get rid of that. And 1 second. So again, the crew on the DeGrasse Tyson will be... Oh, that's why. Will be joining in live via satellite. So everyone is available to talk. Where are the aliens? Okay. Let's see here. Why did that happen? Okay. Alright, getting the screen ready. There we go. Alright, Thishran, Thadajia, and the captain, you go into the meeting. A moment later, the DeGrasse Tyson comes back on screen, as they were before. Can everyone see that? Is that good?
Yes.
All right. So you're back in the room. One thing you notice immediately when you get in there, first Scholar Ani is already seated with his bodyguard. Representative Middleland is no longer there, but there is a new Xylxyk woman that you have not met before. She is sitting in the same seat that Middleland was in, and I'm choking on something. That's not going to help matters for anyone. Okay. Okay, everyone takes their seat, and Ani looks up, welcomes you back with a very genuine, I'm sure, smile. Waits for everyone to sit down. Looks over at the monitor, nods to Commander Lulk on the screen. Welcome back. I do hope that you've had time to consider my generous offer. Again, I would like to assure you, as the first honored scholar of the Holy Seat of the Sphere of Xylxyk, that I do indeed take your claims very seriously. And if there is some sort of plot that sadly you chose to try to implicate me in, I will make sure that the government does look into it wholeheartedly. it will become a very serious issue. However, I do not want to cause strife for my people, for my government, for my world, for the entire civilization here in the Holy Seat. So, all I ask is a very small act of friendship from Starfleet and your Federation. Allow us to look into this matter with decorum that is suitable for our society. And even though you did not do what I have asked, and you did not bring the terrorist, and I apologize, I must still refer to him as a terrorist because the only information I have is that he is behind it. You have not brought him into custody. It appears you have chosen to listen to his version of the story and believe it before you believe mine. Yet I am still willing to return your crew member, who we have rightfully incarcerated and generously refrained from providing the plebeian punishment for the crime. Thanks to our good and revered missing Prime Scholar, her leniency in the laws are the only reason why I am able to allow him to go free in exchange for what could be very crucial information in discovering a plot and a conspiracy in our world. So I do hope you will show to me the same kindness I am extending to you. The captain nods and looks over at you, Commander Locke.
We would be open to considering handing over the evidence that we have gathered towards this plot, as you describe it, in exchange for the safe return of our lieutenant, in addition to any information you might have on the USS Darwin, which, to our best knowledge, was in Xylxyk space roughly 60 years ago. And in exchange, we can also guarantee a friendly relationship with Starfleet Federation going forward from here, for both your government and you personally, First Scholar, assuming that you will be moving forward to the seat of Prime Scholar, should your Prime Scholar not return from her research.
That is most kind of you. He looks to the captain and to you, Commander Locke. Yes, we would want nothing more than to have a peaceful coexistence with all the other societies in our vast galaxy. And in fact, I do have the records, what little we are able to find, of your vessel's visit to us all those years ago, as I have promised your captain already. We have the records here, and I am more than happy then to release them to you to help you find your missing members of your society, just as we are hoping to find the missing Prime Scholar for our society.
I believe that these are acceptable terms on our part. I will say that though we do not agree or see it directly eye to eye, and and that because of this, we are not willing to interfere directly in your politics, or rather, we we do not act on behalf of the secularists or on your government in your conflict, as that is Starfleet's, due to our prime directive of non-interference, we would prefer a method of action that interferes as little as possible in order to maintain our personnel and their safety while also accomplishing our mission. So this seems to be the best course of action without, even though we cannot help you with your internal conflicts.
I appreciate it. That is such a wise and very respectable move on all of you, and he waves his arms around to all the members in the room. I appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind transmitting all the evidence and anything you have discovered upon researching our surveillance footage, and even the testimony I'm assuming you have on hand from your encounter with the secularists when you went searching, I will start the proceedings to have your crew member released and brought to you within an hour. How does that sound?
We can make that happen. And turning off my my communications that I can speak in the room, I say to Mir, we will also be giving you copies of all information that we have so that you might pursue any kind of legal action or perhaps spread them amongst your people as proof of your claims.
He gives a very firm nod that he understands exactly what he will do with that information.
We also recommend that you take any precautions you can to have this spread to other agents you might have on the planet in order to maintain its authenticity.
Without a doubt, Commander. Definitely this is going to go a long way in our struggle to get out of this ridiculous government.
I'm sorry that we could not find a more direct route to helping possibly remove this obviously corrupt leader you have.
Perhaps you've done enough to give us the start we need to do it on our own. I'm not sure if the interference from a strange alien government would have been enough to win the hearts over of our people, but your actions here might be exactly what we need to finally make some real change.
Once we have received our crew and captain back, we can return you to your fleet, to your vessel.
He nods in agreement. Okay, real quick here. The meeting down on the planet is pretty much adjourned. The captain is going to stick around to finish the details and that, but Thishran and Thadagia, the two of them were basically, you both left the meeting room. That's what I'm trying to say. Yet I'm seemingly incapable of doing so. Let's get here. You're on the outside, and while you're standing out there, Thadagia, my friend. I gotta get the. Sorry, again, with 3 windows open, I'm always going on to the wrong window. Okay. Thadagia, while you're all outside, finishing up, waiting for the captain, Representative Middleland appears finally, and she comes running up to the two of you. I want to say, don't be fooled by her gorgeous smile. She's looking worried in real life, so don't trust the picture you see on your roll 20 right now. She's not in that kind of happy mood. But she runs up to the two of you, and she definitely looks trouble, and she's waving you down so you see her as she's approaching.
Representative.
You have to get me back up to your starship, please, quickly.
May I ask what this is about?
Just, please, I'm no longer cleared for flight. I can't take a shuttle out on my own. We need to get back up there. I feel I made a horrible mistake.
Well, I'm sure you can accompany us as part of our diplomatic mission. It will be fine.
Whatever it is, we just need to leave immediately. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're waiting for, but please, I need you to get me up to your ship as quickly as possible.
Okay. All right, so. Is our shuttle near?
Your shuttle would be nearby, yeah.
Okay.
Thishran will volunteer to stay behind, so it doesn't look suspicious, as you are also a qualified shuttle pilot. So he'll leave it to you to escort her back, and that way when the captain comes out, she's not like, where did everyone go? I thought they were... So Thishran's going to stand by and let you take her back to the DeGrasse Tyson. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so the two of you run to the shuttle, and she said, please don't send any communication saying that I'm aboard here, but I just need to get to your vessel.
All right.
Okay, you're cleared to take off. That's no problem because there's no reason to be suspicious, and you are still acting as honored guests. Once you arrive on the DeGrasse Tyson, Representative Middleland, she's very reticent saying about what is going on. Actually, Gene, I would like you to do a shuttle roll since you're really good at shuttle stuff too, because also I want to use that just as another way to build up a little bit of momentum, or even better, roll a complication and let me get more threat. Hey, either way, you don't have to if you don't want to, but right now it's still zero momentum for you people.
Okay. Now, is that aboard the Dawkins or the Sut?
You were aboard the Dawkins, I believe, or no, it was the Sato on the way down because you're hoping to have more room for Drake and that to come aboard. So yeah, you got the bigger seating shuttle, so it's the Sato. Okay, Vidagia. Task roll of 2.
Actually, I'm not getting anything on my Sato. I pulled up my screen here.
Okay, well, just roll the Dawkins then. The stats are close enough that it wouldn't matter. How about this, Terry? Can you roll the engines for the Sato or the Dawkins, whatever shuttle loads up? Can we get a roll from you, sir? If you can find it.
Sort of, yeah. Nah, I mean, I can click on there, but I don't see any way to roll.
Okay, is there any roll for the Dawkins? Do you see a sheet for the Dawkins? Maybe I just neglected to put the sheet correctly on there for...
Yeah, Dawkins.
Okay, can you roll for the Dawkins, if you wouldn't mind? It would be engines and con, just task roll of 1. Okay, let's see, what did we get there? So, also, okay, nothing on there for that. It's still just a task roll of 0, so you're not going to crash or anything. But for Thadagia, you're piloting, you're controlling Khan too. Or daring and Khan if you really want to like put the pedal to the metal because you're worried about this warning from her.
Yes. Daring and Khan.
Daring and Khan, yeah. That's what we like.
Task roll 2.
Task roll 2. Complication range 1. Hey, you get your tried and true 1 and 1. So yeah, that's 2 momentum gain that you can use at any time. But you are daring, so you're basically tearing through the atmosphere and calling way back to the DGT. So on the bridge, Alder, you're seeing an unexpected blip on your screen. It's the shuttlecraft Dawkins with Thadagia in command, far ahead of schedule, and he's requesting to dock. As the operations officer, you know that's very strange that nobody has cleared it by you that anyone is coming back right now.
I'm assuming Commander Log's on the bridge with me.
Yes.
I'm just going to turn towards Log and say, Commander, I've got an incoming shuttle, the Sato, way ahead of schedule, requesting to dock.
Open communication with the Sato.
Okay, I open a communications line with them.
Okay.
Sato.
Yeah, there you go.
Sato, you seem to be ahead of schedule. Report.
This is Thadagia. Sir, I can't exactly speak right now. If it's possible to meet us in landing bay.
Is there any danger aboard the ship?
No, as far as I know.
All right. Well, you're clear to dock then.
Before it's the communication is done, Representative Milland, she's in the co-pilot seat, and she looks over at the controls, reaches over, and she mutes the communication, and she looks at you, Thadagia, say, please request to have Mr. Weber join us.
Mr. Weber?
Lieutenant Weber, your science officer.
All right, so open up calm. Also, let us have Lieutenant Weber join us as well.
Right. That can be arranged, although, given the circumstances, I hope it will not be a problem that I will join as well as the lieutenant.
She nods hearing this. She nods, but she stays off. Make sure she doesn't make a sound on the communications.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, Lieutenant. I will see you in the docking bay.
Sir?
Okay, so going to the docking bay real quick. We'll get to use our actual docking bay thing. Yeah. Does everyone want to see docking bay? Just going to be you and Lieutenant Weber joining, correct, Commander?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Can we do main shuttle bay? Here we go. All right, going to the main shuttle bay. I think you can see it on your screen. There we go. The shuttle lands, and Lieutenant Thadagia disembarks with a very worried Representative Middleland following behind, looking apprehensive.
Sorry, Commander. She didn't give me much information. She insisted that it was urgent.
I did notice that her absence in the second half of our meeting. Is your life in danger, Representative?
I don't believe my life is in danger. My political life, perhaps, but I don't think my life is in danger. I'm sorry, Commander. May I please speak privately with Mr. Weber for a moment before we start?
Of course.
Okay, so she kind of steps off aside and waits for Lieutenant Weber to come close to her.
Mhm.
Mr.
Which I do.
Yeah, Mr. Weber, I'm sorry to maybe upset you or worry you about this. It's just that you are the one member of this crew with whom I've spent the most time with, and I feel you have been nothing but sincere in everything you have expressed to me about how you feel, particularly on beliefs and religion. And you've given me quite a bit to think about. Um, I want to be sure I can trust all of your crew as much as I trust you. So I want to get your assurances that whatever is to happen, that your leadership will try to keep all the good people of our world safe.
As long as it doesn't, as long as our prime directive doesn't stand against it, yes, I can assure you of that.
I guess that's the best assurances I can have. All right. Shall we speak with your commander?
Yes. Of course.
Okay. Thank you. And the two of them come back and rejoin the group. Commander, I'm afraid I have made a very foolish mistake, and I may have placed your entire crew in grave danger.
Our entire crew in danger?
Yes.
How? Please explain.
After we broke for the recess, I adjourned with my government, including the First Honored Scholar, to continue the debriefing of how to proceed with the negotiations. And as I said before, I could not firmly believe that a believer in our ways as a First Honored Scholar would be involved in any kind of treachery or any kind of scheme that would kill or injure and destroy. What I'm getting at is I put my trust in him as I put my trust in our beloved Prime Scholar, and for that I openly told him that Mir is aboard the DeGrasse Tyson and joining our negotiations silently, because I felt it was right to be open and honest to a just and honest leader that I had hoped he would be. But he removed me immediately from the negotiations, saying that I had been through enough, and he told me to rest, which is basically a soft way of saying that I've been relieved of my position for the time being.
I see. I immediately opened the comms to the captain. Captain, have we received Lieutenant Drake yet?
Commander Locke, no, not yet. I have already received the data about the missing USS Darwin, and I have uploaded it into my pad. I will be returning with it shortly. They're still processing the paperwork, and I will be heading to the detention facility with Lieutenant Thishran in about 10 more minutes after we are done here with the First Honored Scholar.
Representative, when did you tell him about that? Was it before our last conference call or after?
That was before. I was not present in the conclusion of the negotiations.
Oh, that's why you weren't there. Okay.
Representative, do you have reason to believe that the First Scholar would be so zealous to obtain Mia that he would break the agreement we have come to and interfere with our ship or with our captain.
If they know that Mir is here, and unfortunately they do, they will, viewing it from the light that you have shined upon the situation, I can fully see the First Honored Scholar, if he is behind this, of showing this as your treachery, not his, that you are working with the secularists, you're working with the terrorists.
But surely he would rather see this put to bed than try and drag us further into his conflict. He already has power secured.
If he associates you as harboring a known terrorist, nothing, no evidence you provide is going to be enough to convince any other member of the government. I can assure you that. They will see you as siding with these terrorists. And for that, you would be an enemy of the state. Let's, on the bridge real quick, Mr. Alder, you're getting another beep on your console as you see two small craft are coming up from the surface on a direct intercept course with the DeGrasse Tyson.
Am I able to see what sort of craft these are? If it's, I'm assuming it's Xylxyk craft, right?
Xylxyk craft. Yeah, let's do a level 0 scan because I want you to show off with all your crazy scanning ability because you're good, and it's also another good way to get some momentum. So it's a level 0 scan, assisted by the ship. Ship's sensors, of course. So if anyone, I don't know who hasn't rolled. Lulk, Commander Lulk, would you like to roll for the DeGrasse Tyson, or does anyone have the DeGrasse Tyson open right now? You can roll the.
I think I can find it.
Okay, you can roll for the sensors. It would be sensors and science, of course. And that will generate one bonus momentum that can't be banked just for obtained information as well.
Assume for me, control and con.
Sensors.
Control and sensors, yes.
Control.
Oh, sorry, control science. Sorry. Alder, I'm getting names mixed up. And then sensors and science for the DeGrasse Tyson.
And task 1 and 1. Complication 1, task 1.
Yes. Complication 1, task 1. I hear whooping. I gotta see what that whooping is. Let's see. Is that right? Mr. Alder, it looks like you... Oh, there it is. It was showing me the exact... It wasn't updating on my screen for some reason. That's weird. Hang on a second. Let me go back here. Why is that not showing on my screen? There we go. Sensor. There we go. I don't know. My screen did not update. 2 of my 3 windows that have Roll20 on. Updated. Hang on. Can you still see me? Everything good? Can you hear me? Okay, because I'm getting... Okay, I'm getting like screen freezes. I'm getting lags. Something weird was happening there. Okay. It looks like it's working on my end. Apologies. Okay. So, look at that. That is 1 and... Wow, the DeGrasse Tyson really went all out on that, didn't it? So that's plus 3 momentum, bringing you up to 5. Plus you have 1 floating one for obtained information. And there is a complication. I don't know if you have anything to re-roll the complication, but I would just take it as a threat instead of a complication.
Use my obtain information momentum just to see number of life signs on board. Like
Okay.
how many.
Okay, so your basic scan showed that yes, they are Xylxyk craft. The life signs on board, it's not very many. There's about 4 people on each of 2 ships. They are smaller, probably runabout size vessels.
Okay. I want to immediately sort of communicate this through to the commander.
Okay, so you get that information, Commander. He sends it your way, right?
Well, so much for a clean ending to or clean resolution to this. Are our comms fairly secure? Do we know that?
On the ship, or
No, to the captain.
you can make them secure. Yeah.
Okay. And I am not. So I will open up to the bridge and say, I need a secure line, comm line to the captain.
Okay, Commander, I'll open one immediately and patch it through to you.
Commander, is everything all right? You are surprising me by your frequent communication.
Well, apparently, our kind representative decided it was pertinent to share the information that Mia, the secularist, is aboard our ship. And now we have 2 incoming vessels on an intercept course with the DeGrasse Tyson.
That is indeed unfortunate.
I am worried for your safety and for that possibly our negotiations have broken down at this point. What do you advise?
Nothing has been said to me at this moment down here, Commander. It seems we are still going through.
I wonder if they will actually release the lieutenant to you.
Well, we will find out in a few moments.
Do what you can, Captain, to avoid being arrested yourself.
Believe me, I will keep that as the forefront of my thoughts.
What course of action should we take with these 2 ships?
Resolve it peacefully, Commander. Peacefully.
All right. Well, update me as soon as you have the lieutenant.
I will do just that, as I've just learned not a moment ago from Mr. Theshran that our, how should I put it, means of escape is no longer present on the world.
Yes, it seems that Lieutenant Thadagia has returned with the representative to our ship in order to warn us of the position that the representative has put us in, which seems to have only further complicated things.
Well, let's hope that they will not fire upon a vessel that has one of their members of government aboard. It might
Very
also be in our best interest if you send a return shuttle for us immediately.
Should we put the representative back upon the return shuttle in order to safeguard its descent to the surface, or should we try to protect the DeGrasse Tyson with representative? Not that I like using human shields.
Well, I leave that to you to determine based on what the situation calls for up there. Whatever you do, be quick about it, Commander. We are clearly running out of time.
All right. Best of speed.
Okay, so the captain and Theshran go on their way, so now you gotta think, what is the plan now, my friends?
Representative, Do you believe these ships will fire upon our vessel without communication?
Without communication, probably not. But they might be under orders to find provocation wherever they can find it. I'm afraid that I've done so much wrong here, and I would like to do whatever it takes to help you through this.
We have 2 transport vessels, right?
You have 2 that I bothered to name, so yeah, there might be a third one there somewhere.
And what is their long range capability? Is it something that, I assume that as the commander of the ship, I would know these things.
Yep, definitely.
What is the possibility of putting Mir on one of them and sending him in the opposite direction back towards his ship?
It's possible. It's the shuttlecrafts are long range, but as they are just shuttlecraft, like if they give chase and attack, the shell's not going to last very long against 2 patrol craft like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that you're all going to take this discussion up to the bridge because it's going to be important to get to the bridge, right? So let's assume that all the members that are on the ship would be able to chime in, including, of course, Mr. Doe, who is also the security officer, tactical officer currently.
Representative, do you have much of a working knowledge of your people's scanner technology or specifically the scanners that are aboard these 2 ships that are coming to engage?
Standard scanning technology, Commander. I think that were they to scan long enough, they would be able to determine that there are 2 of their own people aboard.
And they would be able to determine that a person was aboard a shuttlecraft, for example.
If they were to give chase and scan long enough, yes, I believe they would.
Lieutenant Weber, Lieutenant Alder, in this short period of time, could you perchance create a decoy, so to say, that would make a shuttlecraft look as though it had a Xylxyk person aboard it? Perhaps we can bait them into firing upon the shuttlecraft and killing Mia. This could greatly benefit him in that they would stop looking for him as hard, and then we could, after our everything is done and over, return him safely to his people.
Might take up to 5 minutes, but I could manage that.
And could we then also mask his presence on this ship?
I think we might have to block all sensors for them, which would be suspicious.
See,
I don't know. I'm asking the game master right now. Is it possible? And how long would it take? And how difficult would it be?
Well, the usual thing, the faster something is to be done, the more difficult it becomes to do it. So, being that you're on a very short time frame right now, it would be a hard thing to do, but the difficulty would even go up more because you have to do it as quickly as possible, or it would be more of a daring than a control type role, because you're cutting corners and things like that.
Do it simultaneously with the other one, with the taking the other one on the shuttle. It has to be done at the same time, I guess, or it would be some overlap.
Yeah, probably.
So if I could assist, I might be able to upload a small genetic sample into the shuttle to assist in that way, to give them an impression that the person that they're looking for is on that ship.
There's an idea, using his medical expertise for being able to replicate the genetic readings.
Oh wait, I have this I don't have the sheet open right now. My holodeck programming focus. I don't know what it's called right now.
Maybe, the photonics, yeah.
Yeah, if he's on the holodeck, it might be easier to cover him.
Ah, there you go.
Perhaps we don't even have to send the shuttle out. Perhaps we can simply hide him in holodeck. Would we have been able to tell if they had scanned us during the time we were in negotiations?
They have not scanned you yet. Lieutenant Alder would have told you by now if they were scanning. They're still rising from the surface right now.
But I mean, like the planet, if we had been like, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how Star Trek scanning technology works. Every time we're scanned by anyone, can we tell generally, especially a technologically inferior race?
Basically, for Star Trek, well, in any sci-fi, it's whatever suits the plot of the episode. That's how far it works. But generally, the basic scan just gives you like a very there's this many people aboard, there's power aboard, there's that. You have to then perform like longer detailed scans to pull out the more detailed information. And again, it depends on how strong your scanners are. So they'll probably be scanning you on the way up and just getting like a layout of there's this many life signs aboard, but they're going to have to keep penetrating the scan to try to figure out if there's one single Xylxyk aboard, and is that Xylxyk the one they're looking for? That would be almost impossible to tell unless they like confirm with their eyes, or they have like the genetics themselves. But likely these kind of ships don't have that kind of senses.
Right. So okay, so we would have known essentially during the talks if they were doing a detailed scan on us.
Yeah.
And so we can pretty much confirm that they do not have proof that Mir is on the ship other than the claims of the representative.
Yeah.
All right, then. Unless anyone has any other suggestions, I believe that Lieutenant Weber's idea of hiding him in the holodeck would be our best course of action, and denying that we even have him aboard. Then the representative coming to see us, I mean, they also don't know the representative is with us, right?
Nope.
So they just know that our ship came back.
Yeah. Would you like to use the representative in some way, maybe even with Thadagia's shuttle idea? So if they think, oh, there's a Xylxyk going out there, all they have to do is find out, oh, that's the wrong Xylxyk. Uh-oh. That might lead them away. I mean, Thadagia could, as a kind of combat shuttle pilot himself, I mean, he would be the best person to escort her to, and maybe act as a decoy, just because of how ingenious his idea was.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so you're going to try hiding Mir in the holodeck,
Yes.
and then you're going to Thadagia, how do you want to do the shuttle thing?
Well, I was thinking of taking just a small genetic sample of whoever it is that we're trying to protect. In this case, it would be Mira, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Then maybe. Okay, so we could say the representative will say that she's willing to go into a shuttle, with you, and maybe bring like a genetic sample of that, so it maybe grabs their attention, and then maybe could pull the ships away long enough to buy you at least some time on DGT, and then if they track you down and they find out like, oh no, it's just a member of the government and they're on their way to find Mira again, and they're using the genetic sample to enhance their sensors.
Yes. Use it.
And then they're like, oh golly gee. Okay, so let's do some rolls. I think the holodeck one's going to need the most help, so I think that both Alder and Weber should get on that. As far as the shuttle, the genetic sample, that's mainly medicine. So we're going to have to do 2 rolls there to see how successful that these things are. So who's taking the lead on this? Probably Weber taking the lead because of the photonics.
Yeah, it's photonic applications is the focus right now.
Photonic applications. And Alder, do you have any suggestions how you would like to improve it, or maybe how you would like to lend your expertise to make this foolproof? Any idea?
None that I could think of now.
Okay. Let's see, take a look at your...
Okay. I'm afraid this takes up a lot of energy and probably constant adjustment, so I can't provide any pleasant surrounding while you're in there. It might be pretty boring. I'm talking to Mir.
It's like, oh, by all means, I'll be very pleased with having a blank, empty room as long as it's not a prison cell.
Okay, so we've got Weber and Thadagia are both working on the holodeck.
I believe so, or at least no, Thadagia is doing the shuttle with the genetic sample. Okay. Alder will be supporting in whatever way that he feels he could lend his expertise. It could be either assisting, it could be creating a advantage, or doing something in his very, very expert skill set.
Okay, then I will assign a red shirt to take the other shuttle back down to pick up the captain.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it's not red shirt in this series, but a no name.
Hey, the con officers wear red in TNG too, so kind of fits. So, yeah, you could send a fly boy down there. Okay.
We want the shot back. Don't send a red shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I could send Ensign Doe down.
Yeah, the tactical one. Let him die. Okay. Yeah, Ensign Doe just standing there, just twiddling his thumbs. All right, so let's see here. The holodeck one, to try to conceal him, it's going to be tricky. So that's going to be difficulty of 4. Difficulty of 4. It's going to use, of course, your photonics. It's going to be your focus on there. You're going kind of haphazard with it because you have to go pretty fast. So I'm going to say it's going to be daring, okay? Daring plus science, okay? Let's see. Take a look at your talents also if there's anything there. Mr. Alder, do you want to just do an assist? Do you want to do a separate task to lower the difficulty for them? You have all the options at your command there to whatever you want.
Just a plain assist roll, I think.
Just a plain assist? Okay, so you're down in the holodeck with him working on that. Okay?
Does anyone by any chance remember what testing a theory is, the talent? Because This is probably the first time I'm doing this, and this might help.
If you have to be successful with a related task prior to the task you're testing the theory on.
Okay.
And then you'll get a bonus for that second task.
Yeah, so that doesn't help here.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so you're doing that with daring and science, correct? And Alder, what do you think? You're definitely supporting with science, I'm imagining, since this is a science thing. You're doing what? How are you contributing? What do you want to do?
Oh, sure. I don't know. I suppose. Oh, I don't know. I suppose I'm just following the lieutenant's suggestions how we're supposed to be doing this. So maybe something in terms of the computer systems. So I'm just really doing assistive tasks to make sure it's done as fast as possible.
All right. So in that case, it'll probably just be control because he's the one that's kind of slapdashing away through it, whereas you're following his lead and just doing the things that he needs for it. Okay, so control and science for you. Any, let's see, talents that will help you, Mr. Weber? Any value you want to use or can use? And also, you have bold science as well too, and this definitely sounds like a bold thing you're doing. So, if you want to buy dice with threat, you'll at least get a reroll, and you got untapped potential as well. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything on Alder's sheet that would help since he's just assisting. Oh, actually, Terry, you have collaboration science. You could spend 1 momentum and let Lieutenant Weber use your science score of 5 as well. If you wish.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if that's needed or not, right?
Well, I mean, anything to help make the task succeed more. He has science 4, you have science 5.
Oh, well, that's I leave that up to the lieutenant if he needs it or not.
I think anything that helps, right? So.
Okay. Shall we use that then? Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Okay, 1 momentum there. So, you'll have a roll now of 5 there with 9. So you have 14. How much do you want to? Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Wait, is that one of my talents?
Yes.
Because according to me, I don't think I got that talent actually. I think that's one that's changed.
Oh,
I
is that
for me? I've got science, testing a theory, practice, computer expertise, mental repository.
Sorry, I scratched it out on your old sheet, but I didn't type it on the new sheet. Oh, yeah, I see it on your old sheet there. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, that's gone. Sorry about that. Sorry, no, that is not there. That is not there. Sorry. Okay, so, yeah, you don't have that option. Apologies, I will have to fix that and reprint this again. But that's okay. How many extra dice do you want to buy? And do you have a value you want to use? Also, Thedagia, think about your role, what you're going to use, if there's any talents or value you're going to do as well.
Don't have any value that could help.
Okay.
How many could I buy extra?
You could buy up to 3 extra dice.
Mm-hmm. This is something I still haven't fully understood. So,
well, again, it's a difficulty of 4, which means it is pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
It's easy to fail. So failing this would mean that you're not able to hide.
Yeah.
Hide.
Yeah. Well, I probably should take all 3.
All three. So you could split between threat and momentum if you wish to how much you want to buy. Because at least if you buy at least one die with threat, you can re-roll it because of your bold science.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. So adding one threat, and you get die number 3. If you want to buy another die, it's going to take 5 more points, whether that be, or not another die. If you want 2 more dice, it's going to be 5 more points total. 2 for the next one, 3 for the last one. And that, again, could be either momentum or threat.
How much momentum is there?
5.
Well, this won't be the last roll probably, so I shouldn't use too much momentum.
Your choice.
Two threats and 1 momentum?
2
5
2
dice.
threat. So right now you spent 1 threat, so 2 more threat and then 3 momentum?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
And then they'll still have 2 momentum left. Okay. So there we are.
Right.
So you'll have a task roll of 5, so you're rolling 5 dice. Can you still use your character sheet, or are you using regular dice right now?
I was going to type into the chat window on Roll20,
Okay.
where I wrote premature roll a few minutes ago.
Okay, yeah, because that's not going to count because you didn't buy any of the dice yet.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're going to be rolling 5 dice. You have a focus on, and science roll 4. Difficulties 4. And Terry, can you also do your assist, which is control and science?
In terms of my complication range there, I think 1-1 for me, right? Because it's an assist.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so let's take a look there. You have 13. So Terry got 1 success there, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes plus his. That's 5 successes. So it works, and you got 1 momentum back. Okay, so the 2 of you are scrambling at the controls. Yeah.
Sorry, I could have done it on the sheet. Yeah. Next time.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Just easy enough to see right there. So you get 1 momentum back, and the 2 of you are just like ripping out the innards of the holodeck, and you are making your adjustments, and you're going at really high speed. Meanwhile, Tadagia dashes into the holodeck with a hypo spray, takes a genetic sample, runs back out, runs to the shuttle. Were you rolling, Gene? Did you figure out what you want to do?
Yes, I'd like to use possibly my focus in xenobiology to maybe add some boost to, in our favor.
Okay. So xenobiology will work perfectly because he is an alien and you're doing that. So yeah, you got 1 focus there. And you are just trying to make the sensors register that there's this second Xylxyk genetic sample aboard, correct? Which is his, yes, in case they have it. Okay. That sounds like a control and science to me as well, but I'd say probably daring and science is better because of the time being short. So daring plus science. Any value you want to use? Because this is probably last session of the game, so using that will at least help you with your milestones. Anything that you could play?
Yeah, I'm always going to go with my tried and true: inaction breeds doubt and fear, and action breeds confidence.
there you go. Okay, that works, and your idea was good. So that is Thadagia V4 plus. Okay. How would you like to use that? Would you like to create an advantage with it? Do you want to get an instant 1 on your die roll to get 2 successes? This is also going to be a difficulty. For this one, it's going to be difficulty of 2.
I create an advantage.
Okay, create an advantage. And what would you like that advantage to say? Just convincing sensor reading.
Yes, very convincing. Yes.
Convincing sensor. Yeah, well, then, if we're using the determination for that, you don't even have to make your roll. We're just creating that advantage instantly for you. A very convincing sensor reading, and you and the representative hop into the shuttle and blast off, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the two ships arrive at the DeGrasse Tyson. The two ships arrive at the DeGrasse Tyson moments after the shuttlecraft departs.
Speaking Commander, they won't be able to scan him, to detect him.
I think Tadashi is gone. One of the ships breaks off and it goes after the shuttle, which is heading towards the sphere of Xylxyk. And the other one maintains position with the DeGrasse Tyson and Alder. By now you're back on the bridge and your console's beeping. They are hailing you.
I open a communication line and inform the commander.
Xylxyk patrol member appears on screen if you're going to answer, Captain or Commander.
How far along are we on the masking?
Weber just told you that everything's fine.
It is everything fine. Okay. Then what? We'll open the line of communication.
Okay, you see Xylxyk patrol craft officer on screen.
As he comes on screen, and I was led to believe that my people would be coming back aboard our own craft. Have you brought them to us of your own accord?
Apologies, USS DEGRASSE TYSON. No, we were informed that there is a fugitive of our world aboard your vessel, and we would just like to have him returned to us immediately.
The representative is a fugitive now. I was not made aware of this when I allowed her to board our ship.
I'm sorry. No, I believe there's some kind of misunderstanding. Not the representative, but a criminal by the name Mir Skegot.
The man we had conversation that the man we met with when in the outer areas of your space. No, the only member of your people aboard our ship currently is the representative, who just returned aboard one of our spacecraft.
Yes, we are in pursuit of your vessel now that seems to be heading towards the sphere. If you will please stand by, I need to confirm what is happening. Please do not make any hostile actions.
Far from us. Far from it. We do not believe in any hostile action should be taken at this point. From our understanding, there was to be a peaceful exchange of a prisoner, and everything was settled with your people.
I see. I see. Please stand by. Also, Commander Locke, would you like to use any more of your values there? Since you have 2 points of determination, you might just be able to speed things along with just slamming through this. I'm looking at your list now, and there's a couple good ones you got on there.
For which actions?
For just, again, trying to basically convincing them in this negotiation that you've already had 2 very successful rolls by Weber and Alder to hide him. Plus, Thadasia has a very convincing ruse going up in the shuttle. So everything is kind of leading to your favor. So
the representative did already leave on the shuttle?
Yes. Yeah, so they're...
Okay. My bad.
No.
I thought that they hadn't left yet. Okay. Well, then maybe alter my conversation slightly that I had with the two people as to claiming there was someone on our ship.
Oh no, you said that she was just sent back in the shuttle.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of not sure what you're alluding to with my values for talking to them.
Never mind. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Just want to give you a chance before episode ends. You already have one value use, but just want to give you a shot. Okay. The second patrol craft chases down Tadagia's shuttlecraft and gets in communication with them, and orders you to cut your engines, turn off power, and prepare to for docking. And the representative goes on screen and really reads him the riot act of how dare he get involved, and then goes through the whole rigmarole with explaining your Lieutenant Tadagia's plan of using the collected genetic sample to help track down the terrorist instead of that, and they are now getting in the way of an official search for him. And that seems to be convincing enough, because there's nowhere for him to be hiding on that tiny shuttle. So, mission accomplished without firing weapons yet again. Okay, very quickly we're going to swing back. Everyone gives a look of relief to each other on the bridge as the patrol shuttles like arc away. They apologize for their misunderstanding, and they head back to the surface. And
what's going to happen to the representative now?
Well, that's to be determined.
I mean, I'm glad that she cleared her conscience, but I have a feeling the First Scholar is not going to take lightly to either A, her warning us, or B, her lying in the first place.
Well, hey, que sera, as they say. Okay.
Maybe I'll recommend to her that she be the one to find Mir and end up having to join him to save herself.
Yeah, maybe. That might be a wise choice. But we'll get to that in a second. We'll wrap that part up second. Back at the mine. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to spend 4 threat back at the mine. And Mr. Drake, you... I can't find the mine, so I guess you're free. Okay. Where is that? Yeah. I guess, yeah, you got...
Die.
Okay. I still don't even know where you are. Okay, you're in there. We're taking off your ninjas over here just so we know exactly who's who. Okay. Okay, so you're back in the mine right now with the little time jump. You're cornered in one section of the mine. You have some dead Xylxyk prisoners around you, some Nausicaans firing pulse rifles. You got other guards firing from different angles. They're all taking cover. Lots of sparks, lots of explosions. Your Romulan friend is at your side with the obligatory small head wound that all Star Trek people get when there's any kind of fighting going on. Even the creepy brute that tried killing you, he's just running around drooling and like throwing rocks and rubble at guards coming in. Catches one in the chest, and he does one of those big dramatic jump in the air, flipped with his arms flailing before falling down on his back. Let's see here. You gotta be looking the other way, or you're just weird. Okay. Hey, look at that! I flipped you upside down. There we go. Your uprising is underway. You've been entrenched for a couple of hours by this point. blasters going off. But more guards keep coming in. So it looks like your escape route is not going to be as clear cut as before. But why don't you give me a really nice phaser rifle shot here. Let's see what's going on with that. Firing back at them as we join.
Well, you use 4 threat, so I'm going to use 3 threat to get 2 more dice.
Ooh, so welcome back, threat. Okay, 2 more dice. Go ahead.
Oh my god. I don't want daring and medicine. That's not right. Daring and science? No, not science.
Daring and security, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're with your phaser. This is going to be controlled security since you're firing phasers.
Okay.
Yeah. Ranged weapon.
Yeah.
2 difficulty.
Complication range 1.
Well, you gave me some bad complication range of. I think it's only 1 for a complication range increase, but I'm spending 2, so complication range of 2. I don't remember if it's 1 or 2.
Okay. Come on. Good shot. 2. What did I? Oh, yeah, I hit 2.
Yeah, it's still not updating on my side again. That's frustrating me. Okay.
1001. No red.
Okay, hang on. There it is. 100. Good. That's the 2 you needed there. 2 you needed. So, roll your damage. That was 8 dice, if I remember correctly. 8 challenge dice.
Damn.
Please update for me too. You know, it's very important that I see this stuff. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You doing any kind of reroll, adding more damage, or are you fine with that? They have resistance of 1, so that's still going to take out one of the guards that you hit.
And I can't take out 2 in one go, can I?
I believe there's a way you could do that if it had area, but no, it doesn't. But hey, you know what? You did get a successful thing. If you want to spend 2 more momentum to say that you take down the rock wall or something that's by him and takes out second guard.
Yeah, why not? Let's do that.
Might as well go crazy, right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna riot, why not?
All right. So you blast, you hit the guy, and you just keep firing the phaser, and you just like sprinkle the roof that they're crouched around, and you just see rocks come raining down, and you hear the Wilhelm scream, and another guard disappears inside, like smoke and dust and styrofoam rocks tumbling around. Okay, the Romulan who's there with the again obligatory head wound with green blood coming down. He's firing his rifle. He looks a little more chipper this time. He looks at you, says, "That's not going exactly the way you expected, I'm sure, but I think this is a much more exciting way for me to go out than I was planning."
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not planning on going out today. Not just quite yet, so let's keep going. We can, as long as we get past these, we can get to the elevator. Get out of here.
Okay, you're making a run for the elevator?
How many guards are there?
There's still quite a bit, like, around there. They're in different angles, but you got a lot of guards that are, or a lot of prisoners that are joining you, firing back.
Yeah, we're not going to start sprinting willy-nilly, but we are going to start advancing on them to try and make tactically advance to make our way to the elevator.
Okay.
And I will direct them as we go.
Okay. You go and like run through. Go ahead, narrate it. I don't want to do it. You do it.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll keep pointing at the different Xylxyk. I'm guessing that most are Xylxyk. Nausicans, head over to the right. You 2 Xylxyk to the left, and then. Right, can I ask, because it's been annoying me, before this scene happened, before we went out and started shooting, I asked the Romulan for his name.
Oh, you actually
finally. Before we went out, I was like, by the way, I'm Drake. Who are you?
He says, geez, it's been so long, I don't remember. His name is Valak.
Valak. Okay, finally.
Okay.
Valak. There we go.
My God, his name's been in this book for 4 months. And I haven't had to use it yet, so I forgot. Okay, go ahead. Valak.
Valak, you're with me. Follow behind me and keep your eyes out. And then, let's go. Moving forward, shooting at everyone.
Shooting at everyone. The Nausicaans are cheering and laughing. You see a Nausicaan take a shot to the chest and fall down.
Fine.
You don't care. Lots of roaring, lots of sounds going on. You're blasting people on your way through. The lock is spinning around behind you, taking shots, trying to watch your back. And then you're just about to get to the elevator. You see it's clear. 2 more threat comes, and you hear Disruptor Blast catches Velok square in the back, and he screams, and he falls down on the ground, like, his gun goes skittering off. He looks at you.
So,
Go!
and unfortunately, Drake can't do that because Drake is responsible for the life around him.
Responsible for life around you. Oh, so how are you using that, my friend? That is perfect.
So I'm going to do the very classic thing. I can't leave you behind. And then try and drag him along while shooting with one hand. Bringing him with me. And telling the Xylxyk and the other Narsicon to cover me.
Okay. Okay, so you start dragging him behind, going over and over, dragging him back to the elevators. You're almost there. It seems to be wide open. I'm going to do 2 more threat, taking out your other unnamed associates that are providing cover fire for you. So one by one, they're dropping as you drag him down. You get him to the elevator, though. They bought you enough time to make it to the elevator without you returning fire.
And I keep one Narsicon?
Nope, he's dead.
Aww.
You can't keep the Nausicaans. I told you, don't bring any Nausicaans into this house.
But it's cute. Okay, well, I'm going to bang the button to try and... Come on.
Okay, the
While
door...
still firing at the door.
Oh, very slowly.
Come on!
And then there's the again, typical Star Trek fashion. You see guards come spilling down to the opening, firing it like they're hitting just the rims of the door as it's closing. One comes in and hits the wall behind you as you duck down. But you're in the lift, and it starts to ascend.
Yay. First of all, I'm going to do some first aid on Velok, because I almost forgot his name.
You just asked his name and you forget. Yeah.
Asked his name. Try and do some first aid on him to try and recuperate him a little bit.
Okay. That's going... I would say it's difficulty 2 since you don't really have anything around you, but I'm going to make it difficulty 1 thanks to the fact that you used your determination to keep him alive in the first place.
Cool.
So
what on medicine? Daring?
Daring and medicine, yeah. Difficulty 1.
Complication range 1. I have no focus that will help here, so
Doesn't
2
work.
dice. Boom. No. Damn it.
Okay. You start trying to treat the wound, and you see that the disruptor blast at him. It's a pretty bad wound as you examine it. It doesn't look good. You roll him back over, and he's looking into your eyes, and he actually has a smile on his face for the first time. Like, you have to go. You have to get out. You have to make what we did here count.
I'm bringing you with me. If as long as we get out of here, we can get more help.
I don't think that's an option right now. And he slowly starts reaching his hand up to your face.
Mm-hmm.
And he presses his hand up against your face like this.
My mouth.
And you feel this rush of this sensation that you never felt before. And it's somewhat painful. It's somewhat uncomfortable. He's not really in the best situation, nor is he a full Vulcan. But you start getting this flood of memories from him, his life, up until a point you see just glimpses. It's making your head spin. It's making your head hurt. You see him meeting you 5 times before, going through the entire routine, explaining things. You see him watching them bring your body back down from the elevator a couple times. You see him getting you to engage with the Nausicaans who just beat you to death with a rock. And you see him greeting you again for the final time. And you get the conflict of emotions of what's going on in his head, where he's working with them. He's doubting his place there as he hasn't heard back from the Talshiar, and there's just a lot of confusion, a lot of strange emotions going on in his head, and then just like that, the vision stops, and his hand slides limply off your face and goes dead at his side.
I put my hand on his chest and close my eyes, saying, I won't forget you. And then move away to prepare for when the elevator opens.
Okay. It's a slow ascent going up, and finally, when it gets to the top, the doors go open again, and as they're opening, you see that the whole area in front of you is, not surprisingly, full of guards crouched down with their weapons pointed at the elevator, pointing at you. They're not firing, however. They're standing there and they're waiting for the door to open, completely revealing you standing there over top your dead Romulan. What are you doing at the moment?
Well, I've got my gun aimed and ready, looking to see if I can see anything. Well, obviously, given the horrible situation, anything that could help my advantage. For example, some conveniently placed canisters of oil or gasoline or explosives.
Unfortunately, nothing of the sort there, and your last momentum's not quite enough to get that. However, what is there is you are in a chamber. Were the wall to be breached, I mean, it would open to a vacuum and kill everyone.
Is the shuttle there as well?
If it is, it's behind the army.
Yeah. So let me work this out. I'm gonna try and do something fun. Can I see the ship?
No.
Okay. They'd all get sucked out, wouldn't they?
If your blast was enough to breach the wall, yes.
And how many are there?
Quite a number. Clearly they've been building up while your riot's been going on down below, so any escapees would be caught instantly.
Fuck it. In for a penny, in for a pound. If I'm going down, I'll take them with me. Let's take the shot at the wall. See what I can do. Also, I would like to point out when the vacuum and it goes boom and everyone starts to get sucked out, I am going to be aiming to try and land on the shuttle.
I don't know if that's going to be. Go ahead, make your roll.
Good dice roll.
Go ahead, make your roll. Make your roll.
Yeah, let's make my shot first.
I will tell you though, this is going to have to be difficulty of 5.
Okay.
You're trying to breach the wall here to kill everyone, so it has to be difficulty of 5.
Okay, so I'm going to use 1 momentum to get an additional dice. I'm going to use 2 threat to get an additional dice. Because you've used up all the rest, I might as well give you some back for fun.
Thanks.
I've got my talent on. What does bold security do again? Let me re-roll if something goes, because I bought with threat, right?
Yeah.
Whenever they carry disease test which they bought 1 or more dice, they may roll 1 to affect the character receives bonus when equals the number of. Oh, I didn't do the momentum roll for my untapped potential.
Oh, do that. That's right.
That is 1 effect dice, isn't it?
I believe so. One, one, whatever that's called.
Challenge dice.
Yeah.
Please give me momentum. 2.
Oh, 2, that's good. So yeah, 2 more momentum.
Okay, so I'm gonna use 1 for. I'm gonna use 3 momentum, 1 for 2 dice. Is that then 3 threat to get an additional one?
It would be 3 for the additional one. Yeah.
Cool, let's do it. You've got none, so I'm gonna use those 3. I've got the 5 dice rolling.
There you go.
I've got my focus on, and I've got bold security to re-roll if I screw this up. Let's do this. Come on.
Oh,
7.
There you go. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 2 extra momentum over top of that. So yes, you fire. Go ahead, narrate the devastation that's going to happen here.
Oh, it's going to be devastating, but I do have those 2 momentum I'm going to use to create a situation for myself, if I can. So, seeing the massive army ahead of me and knowing I'm probably not going to make this out alive, it's like some weird person's set to get me, just to get me killed. I see the wall behind leading to what I saw on the computers to be open space around the asteroid, thinking that this can't continue. And using my other value, leaping before you look, I'm going to take the shot at the wall, which must hit some sort of structural weakness as the wall explodes out into space, creating quite a large enough hole to start sucking everybody towards the wall. The guards are panicking. Well, obviously they're panicking as they've suddenly been sucked into the air, and I jump forward trying to propel myself to where I assume the shuttle will be. What do I see?
What do you see? Oh.
Is there a shuttle?
Is there a shuttle?
There has to be a shuttle because there's no way the guards would get here otherwise. So there has to be at least one. And I'm going to use my momentum to say that the door was open. They didn't shut the door before they left. And I'm diving at it to get in.
Okay. Here's the thing. Just with that, the shuttle wouldn't just be parked there with the door open. It would have to be docked on the door. So the fact that you're blowing out a wall means you're not going into where the shuttle is since you're in space. So there's not a shuttle that's just sitting there. It's docked on the airlock.
There has to be a door open to get in and out of it, though.
At the airlock, but the holes in the wall that you blew going out into space.
Well, okay, I'm going to readjust it. It didn't readjust my story just a little bit. So obviously it's a big wall. It's a small gun. It didn't make a massive hole, but enough to make where it does that whole thing you see where it's sucking out the air and everyone's like, trying to pull themselves forward. Not being sucked off their feet, but just making the whole room very difficult to maneuver.
Okay.
And using the confusion, I make my way towards the ship.
Okay.
And if you use those threat bill, I will come to Japan and find you.
All right. What I'm going to say is you're going to have to spend the last 2 of your momentum to make sure that the hole is not sucking you out, like you were
making it difficult to move.
Okay,
enough.
Difficult. But... Yeah. Okay, difficult to move. Okay. And you strain your way. You strain your way to the shuttle. Okay.
Yes.
You get the door open. People, there's a panic. You crawl inside the shuttle. And you go inside there. You close the door, and like your hair stops whipping around. You're in the secure room there. You go to the controls. I'm sure. Try to get out. Yes.
Okay. Warning you, Bill. I'm coming in October. I'm coming to Kagoshima.
Are you coming?
I'm coming. Yes.
Oh, sweet. So now this is going to make you want to meet me. This is going to guarantee you're going to come down and meet me. Okay. You sit down at the shuttle. You start punching away at the controls, and you're just getting ready when a screen turns on in the shuttle. Incoming transmission.
Okay. I'm going to continue trying to get the thing going and click, like quick side click to turn on whatever the communication is.
Okay, as you're powering it up, you turn on the screen is the image of the High Warden, looking very healthy, very good, smiling at you. See? Like, congratulations, Mr. Drake. This is by far your best performance yet. I have to admit, I didn't see this coming.
Unfortunately, neither did I, as I'm still trying to get this shuttle to work.
Well, I just look forward to seeing you again.
Hopefully not this version, at least, as I'm powering up the shuttle.
He just starts laughing at you, and then the communication cuts off. And we're leaving you there for the moment. We're leaving you there. Okay. All right, back on the DeGrasse Tyson, if I may. Back on the DeGrasse Tyson. I'm on the wrong window, so yeah, we're not there. Back on the DeGrasse Tyson. Just very, very quickly. I can't find. I have way too many things on here. Hang on. I need this person. And I need... Oh, I know. I know what I'll do. Perfect. I got an idea. All right. Okay, back on the DeGrasse Tyson very quick in the holodeck. Holodeck, if I can.
Mir's doing some bungee jumping.
Mir's
learning
doing
about
bungee.
human culture.
Like, woo! This is awesome! I love this place. Let's see here. Back on the holodeck. Excuse me. Gotta delete this. Gotta delete this. Got to... Okay. Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber, real quick, you are there. I assure you, you are there. Just give me 1 second. If I can get your character found. Okay. Okay, Mr. Weber, you enter the holodeck, and you come in, and you see both. Oh, not him. I'm putting you in the holodeck, but that's actually not where I wanted to take you. I just did it out of habit. You see. Oh, for crying out loud! My Roll20 is just like skipping all over. Like I click one, takes me to the wrong screen. There you go. Now you're in the holodeck. Okay, you see the representative now back aboard the DGT, as well as Mir still milling about in the back, enjoying the holographic representation of the gardens that you created for the representative when she came on board. And she comes up to greet you. And
Am I
she...
supposed to see the holodeck now on roll 20?
What's that?
Am I supposed to see the holodeck on roll 20?
The holodeck looks like the planet that they're on.
Okay.
Because you said you were going to rebuild like a place for her to meditate and pray when she first came aboard.
Yeah, sure.
So that's she comes up and greets you, and she looks around, and she said, "Mr. Weber, I do have to congratulate you. This is almost as good as the real thing, and actually it might be better than the real thing now that I think about it. It's very peaceful here."
Yeah, it doesn't have any religious nut jobs.
Yeah. Hey, why were the speakers on? I just want to thank you again for being so open with me about your beliefs, about how you view religions, and you...
I just hope I didn't come across as condescending or arrogant.
No, but you have really opened my eyes to the way things are on my world, and perhaps how rigid my ways of thinking has been for my entire life. And because of it, I could have gotten everyone here in serious danger. And I don't think I'll ever be able to apologize enough for that.
You did what you thought was right.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think the people on my world are going to be as understanding when they talk about what I've done here, but fortunately, Mir is safe, and I trust you'll be dropping him off with the rest of his organization as soon as you depart from the world.
Well, that would be on the command of the captain to decide, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do, yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. I just had to spend a little more time here before I go back and see the real world with my eyes wide open now. But I just wanted to thank you again for all you have done for me since I've been here and putting up with me.
You're very welcome, and I hope you will be successful in bringing the desired change to your world.
With any luck. And if you ever find your way back here, I look forward to the chance to show you a much better version of our society.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Okay, And last, we are just going to go, if I can get things ready here, to the shuttle bay. I'm going back to the shuttle bay, seeing if I could get folk around here. Let's see here. It's here. That is over here. Okay, back on the DeGrasse Tyson shuttle bay. Commander Locke, Lieutenant Thedasia, and Lieutenant Alder, and also Dishron returns too, we'll say. You three go down to the shuttle bay, and you're there to welcome the captain back, along with Lieutenant Drake, who, aside from being extremely tired and looking slightly malnourished, seems to be no worse for wear for the days that he spent in solitary confinement. But he is now back on board, so is the captain, and you are all clear to leave the planet immediately.
Oh, Lieutenant Drake, good to have you back aboard. Though you look as though you've been doing slave labor for the past few weeks.
Nothing of the sort, Captain. Just sat in a lonely room, exercising and thinking of some new plans to get the crew some self-defense skills, because given the incidents that occurred today, well, not today, the past few weeks, I think the crew needs some more abilities in the cachet.
I admire your positive outlook on life, given your previous circumstances.
Only thing I could do, Commander.
Okay, and
Glad to be back.
Thedasia is there to help. Sorry,
Regulation.
what's that?
As standard regulation, make sure to stop by my office later on when you've rested up for your standard physical.
I will be sure to do so, Lieutenant. Thank you.
Lieutenant Alder, as second command, you are there as well. Do you want to say anything to Mr. Drake upon his return?
Just give him a hearty handshake.
There you go.
I almost tear up with happiness at the handshake.
Okay. And the captain looks to you and said, "Glad we could get you back in one piece, Lieutenant."
Me too, Captain. Glad to be home.
And then the camera cuts out to space, and you see the DeGrasse Tyson leaving orbit, arcing towards the sphere of Xylxyk to continue the search for the USS Darwin, and it goes shoots off into warp, and then the camera slowly pans over to the asteroid belt, and slightly ominous music plays in the distance, and then the credits come up, and finally we are done with episode 5 there, but for the grace of God, leaving it a little bit open-ended for second Drake.
Drake V6.
Drake V6.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't have a Drake meeting there at the end.
Yeah,
Me too. Damn you, Bill.
Well, that's okay. It just gives plenty of opportunity for more ideas to mull around in here to build that episode in the future, since it didn't happen this time. But we know the other Drake's still alive for now, at least. So we'll see.
I want to see the other Drake take power of the whole Xylxyk Empire.
Yeah.
And
That's on the table, I think.
Hey, don't roll anything out. But anyhow, I'm going to stop the video right now. So we're finally at the end of episode 5. I want to thank you all. Thank you for joining us on this special extra long edition of Star Trek Next Frontier. And I am stopping the video soon. So thank you very much. See you next time. Peace and long life.